Hey, what's up guys, my name's Ben. Welcome to the Swanky Cat Productions channel where I put at least one new video out a week. So if you want to see more videos like the one today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that bell after you're subscribed so it lets you know when the videos come out. This is my 2020 Sportsman XP 1000S. I just picked this machine up this year, so I've kind of been doing some maintenance on it to get it ready to go for this summer. First thing I did was change the oil on it. I have not worked up the ambition to edit that yet, but that will be coming out if you guys want to see it. Actually, depending on when you're watching this, it might already be out, and if that's the case, I'll put a link for that down in the description if you need to see that. And the next thing I did was change out all the fluids in the drivetrain. So that would be the front gear case up here. On this machine, we actually have a transmission fluid that is separate from our rear differential fluid. And I thought it really shouldn't be that big of a deal. Basically, you pull the drain plug out, you let it drain, you put it back in, you pull the fill plug out, you fill it back up, right? But after doing it, I then kind of decided that maybe it was at least worth documenting a couple of the tips and tricks that I picked up that I think are really gonna help me the next time that I go to do this. And hopefully they'll help you too. Now, my shirt may lead you to believe that I work for Rocky Mountain TV. That's not the case, however. I do sort of work with them. They're a bit of a sponsor of the channel, and when I put links down in the description for stuff, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but they send a little bit my way since I sent you theirs. I went to them and picked up the Tusk Driveline oil change kit. I used the Maxima version. I know some guys like to use the manufacturer-specific stuff, but I think this kit was $35 versus like $75, and since I plan on doing this once a year, like the manual recommends, I figured it was probably better to go with the non-Polaris brand stuff and actually do it on time rather than go with the Polaris stuff and maybe stretch it out a little bit longer. I think there's quite a few different tools out there that you can use to get the fluid where you need it to go, but what I ended up using was just the extension funnel that Rocky Mountain TV has on their page. Now, if you look at it, it's a little bit different than what I've actually been holding here, and that's because when I got it, this part was actually shattered. Luckily, I had this other little funnel sitting around, and this actually turned out to work really well. I would say I would definitely use it again. Again, lots of other tools out there, pick whatever you like, but you're definitely not gonna be able to use a regular funnel. And I think trying to squeeze a bottle into this, even with a squeeze cap, would be not really very much fun. It probably wouldn't work at all for the front, maybe the transmission in the back, you could get it in, but I would definitely recommend something like this. The other specialty tool that you are absolutely gonna need to get this job done is actually a tool that I made. This Harbor Freight socket originally came with this short piece here, and that was not enough to get the tip into the fill plug for the front. And you can see right below that plug is a bit of a black mark on the A-arm, and that's because that A-arm actually sticks up kind of in the way, so when you try to get a socket in there, the silver part of it is essentially just rubbing on that, and you're not able to get the Allen into the slot to turn it. So maybe you can buy one of these. Otherwise, if you've got an Allen wrench that you can sacrifice, basically what I did is just pounded the old one out and then cut the end off of a regular Allen wrench and pounded it in here. This worked awesome. Definitely gonna keep this around for next time. So that was the fill plug. Definitely a real treat to get the funnel in there and to try to get the plug back in there without getting any dirt on it on the way in. To drain it, thankfully, is much more simple. There is just a plug right there, so that is easy to get to, easy to put back in. The transmission is fairly straightforward. We've got the fill plug right here. We've got the drain plug back there, and that one would make a real mess. But luckily, I had this broken piece of funnel laying around that came with my kit that worked quite well to stick in the hole and would rest right underneath that drain. So that worked super nice. Just shot it right down into my drain pan. As for the rear differential, the drain and fill plugs are right next to each other. The fill plug seemed like it was kind of hard to get the funnel in there because the gear actually sits so close to where that plug ends. And if you look in your owner's manual, that rear really does not take much fluid. I think it's like 7 point something ounces if I remember right. So at first when I put some in there, I thought, wow, that really didn't take much. I mean, I guess 7 ounces isn't that much. But I wasn't quite sure if it was starting to spill out prematurely since I could, like I said, hardly get the funnel in there. So what I ended up doing was pulling the funnel back out, shifting the machine into neutral, and then just gently pushing it forward to kind of get those gears to move just a hair so I could kind of shoot the fluid in a little bit easier It might have been full to begin with, but I just felt a lot better about actually being able to see in there and to be able to shoot it in rather than right up against the gear. One thing to note about the kit that I purchased, and really any kit that you buy from Rocky Mountain ATV, they don't actually have the S model in their system. I would recommend that if you're going to buy that kit, make sure you go through your owner's manual and kind of line the fluids that they say are going to come in that kit up with what it says in your manual. Everything that I read through, it looked like everything was going to be fine. I guess we'll find out when I ride this season, but definitely use that at your own risk. Make sure that you're picking the model that belongs to you, of course, to begin with, and then make sure you line up all that stuff that they're sending you versus what your owner's manual says. And I would say definitely follow your owner's manual as far as putting the fluids in. You're of course going to want to clean all of the plugs up before you take them out, and after you take them out, you're going to want to make sure that you are extremely careful not to knock dirt into those holes. Make sure you don't knock dirt into your funnel. And when you're going to put your plugs back in, you're going to want to make sure you're not knocking those all over the place and getting them all dirty on their way in. That is really hard to do. This is definitely going to take some finesse and some patience, especially with a very dirty machine. I think even if you give it a good wash down, which I would certainly recommend, you're still going to have to be pretty careful. You definitely don't want to stick dirt in any of those holes. So hopefully this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, make sure to let me know down in the comment box below. If you want to see this machine out on the beautiful Wisconsin trails, make sure you click that subscribe button. Other than that, guys, take care, stay safe, stay swanky. Get out and enjoy this beautiful world every chance that you get. And if you can't do that right now, here's some more videos to check out in the meantime.